Hey guys, it's Max Convexity here. Hope everyone's having a wonderful evening. This update's a little late tonight. It's 11 o'clock my time, probably midnight by the time you guys see it. I'm going to try not to talk for more than about 10 or 15 minutes. I have like 2 or 3 letters or comments I want to address, and then we'll just draw the profit boxes. I've already done all the math. You guys don't have to sit through the math. We'll draw the profit boxes. We'll talk about tomorrow. We'll look at futures. Let's look at futures right now, just for fun. All right. Boy, that was a face ripper today, wasn't it? So NASDAQ is flat. It's down 13 basis points. ES is down 11 basis points. Russell's the weakest one of the bunch, and it was the weakest one of the bunch today on a relative basis, so that makes sense. But Russell's down 1/3%. But after today's face ripper, that's not that big a deal in my opinion. I'm going to turn off these Bollinger Bands. I like to look at them, but they make it harder to see the chart. Anyway, we closed right here today. We closed right here today. We're off on the Russell, we're off 6 handles. We're down 20 points on the NASDAQ, and we're off about 5.25 points on the S&P. All right, let's talk about some comments. All right, here's a good one. This person said, thanks for the video. The JEPY, QQQY, and IWMY didn't move compared to the underlying index. We should be ready for some good NAV erosion in the next few months now. Yeah, I don't know if I'd agree with that. Or we might have good NAV erosion in the next few months anyway, but I don't think it's going to have anything to do with today. A day like today will cause a little lag, and if we got like 10 days in a row like today, that'd be something. But yeah, we'll see. The month's young. Don't forget, and I reminded this commenter last week, these Defiance funds beat the heck out of their underlines. The underlines were getting murdered, and the Defiance funds were. There was one day I saw that NASDAQ was down 1.5 and the QQQY was only down 1 point. You know, that 0.5 point difference, you know, especially on 4 down days in a row, that adds up. But yeah, days like today, you know, days like today are not good. Days like today will cause some lag. But this is the kind of lag you don't mind having because you still have a full profit in the funds. The funds still, you know, are making money, and we'll see. The month's young. We shall see. I did promise this person I'd keep an eye on it. All right. Okay, now here's a good point. This is one of my favorite commenters. I like all my commenters, but this guy's really taught me a lot. Charles, and he's on the live stream sometimes too. We go back and forth talking. He really likes FEPY. And FEPY is actually the one that performs the best in the bull market. So on an up day, FEPY's going to lag the least, in my opinion. It doesn't have a lot of data out. It's a young fund, and so is QQQY. But based on the structure and based on what's happened so far, FEPY is going to be your best one for a bull market. Then your second best one for a bull market, and it hurts me to say this, is going to be JEPQ. But I mean, that JP Morgan fund's good, and they use monthly options, so that doesn't cap the upside as effectively as daily options do. Unfortunately, it doesn't cap the downside as well either, so everything's a trade-off. But yeah, this Charles has made a believer out of me on FEPY. If you knew for sure the market was going to be up 50% next year, you would definitely want FEPY and not QQQY. But, you know, if the market, let's say the market is going to be down 10% next year, you would definitely want QQQY, in my opinion. All right. And I think you should just have a diversified portfolio of both of them, you know, have a little bit of both. But Charles is really smart, and he's sold on this FEPY. And, you know, for a up market, FEPY is really hard to beat. All right. Let's see. I had something else I wanted to. Okay, yeah, okay. Here's another one. Here, this person said, I Spy absolutely destroyed JEPY today on price appreciation. Ex-dividend date is February 1st. If the yield comes out anywhere near JEPY or even slightly lower, I Spy ETF will explode. And I told this person, yeah, I like iSpy. I like the idea of iSpy. They aren't very transparent. From the limited information they do give us, it looks like these guys sell options that are super far out of the money. Well, that's great. Super far out of the money means you get a lot of capital appreciation. So, like on days like today, yeah, of course, iSpy. I bet iSpy and FEPI, FEPI, were up the most. I wonder which one's up the most between those two. I'm going to check in a second. But anyway, let me say on my thought here. But yeah, on a straight up day like today, yeah, iSpy is going to do well. The problem is, look how it did last week. When you sell those deep out of the money options, they don't give you much premium. The premium's what protects your downside. So funds like iSpy will lag a lot more on the down days. So it's a trade-off. But anyway, I answered the question. I said the yield won't be anywhere near JEPY's in my opinion. Oh, that's the other thing. Deep out of the money options don't bring in very much yield. I'm thinking 10% on this thing at the most, based on what I've seen so far. If I get some new information, if these fund managers start being more transparent, or if they start moving their options a little bit closer in the money, you know how everyone gripes about Tesla, that those fund managers are selling options that are too close to the money and cutting off their upside. And that's a real concern. I get that. I get that. I get that, gripe, and that's a legitimate concern. I have the opposite concern with iSpy. They're selling options so far out of the money, it's not protecting any of their downside, in my opinion. And I'd feel better if they disclosed their trades. They're using the private market, and they're using swaps, and I don't know. I'm not sold on iSpy. I like the idea of iSpy. Once again, maybe I'll say this even. If you knew for sure the market's going to be up 50% this year, yeah, then iSpy is probably your ETF, iSpy or FEPI, FEPI. We don't know. We don't know what the market's going to do. In a year like 2022, you'd want JEPY or QQQY, in my opinion. All right. Let's see if that's all. That's pretty much all there was on that. Let me see what else I have here. All right, Spicy Tuna made a comment. Says, what happens if QQQY loses money for this month? We get zero payment and price erosion. Well, yeah, I mean, I guess, we're partners. When you buy this ETF, we're entering into we're letting them sell options for us. So, these funds didn't make money last week. So if we have 3 more weeks just like last week, yeah, there won't be any money to pay us a dividend with, but that's investing. But guess what? If we get 3 more down weeks, any other thing that you have is going to be doing just as bad. In fact, going to be doing a little bit worse because these funds sell options and it gives you some downside protection. But if we get 3 more weeks like last week, you aren't going to want to be in your triple Qs, or you aren't going to want to be in anything. I guarantee you the triple Qs and the SPY will lose a lot more than these covered call funds if we get, 3 more weeks like last week. But hopefully that won't happen. Hopefully that won't happen. And the NAV erosion happens on the upside. Actually, if we get down weeks, it's, that's just called the price going down. But whenever the market, what happens today caused some erosion. Not really erosion, it's more like drag. But these big up days are what caused the drag. So we shall see. Probably the worst case scenario would be to get big down day like last week, followed by huge up day like today, followed by big down day like last week, followed by huge up week, something like that. Yeah, sure. The funds aren't going to make much, if anything, and we're going to get some price underperformance for darn sure. I don't see that happening. I think the law of averages will work itself out. We'll see. We'll see. You just have a huge advantage on your side when you sell an option. You literally win 70% of the time. So I would, but that doesn't mean that happens every day or right away. It takes the law of averages time to work out. But I would say over the course of 20 days, hopefully, I'm hoping that it gets back more in line with the statistical average. But yeah, we losing 4 or 5 days in a row like last week. That'll put the hurt to you, but that happens. And, but the week before that, or the 2 weeks before that, we won 4, 5, 6 days in a row. So that's just kind of how things work. It's just welcome to investing. All right, so Let's see what else we have. Well, let's do this. How about let's look over here at the options for tomorrow. I've already entered them. So IWMY, these guys sell Russell options. Today they sold 520 at the 1995 strike. Wow, look at that. The market moved up so much. They moved up from the 1960 strike to the 1995 strike. That's awesome. They got $15.90. So you take $15.90 away from 1995 and you get 1979.10. So that's the break even. So we're going to draw a profit box between these two numbers. All right. So we'll go over here. Boy, that was a face ripper today. Look at that. Holy cow. All right, let's see. I'm going to clean up. Well, I'll clean up the profit boxes on my own time. I won't make you guys sit through that. Let's see. 1995. All right. That was a good year. Little grunge, a little TLC. Fugees just came out with that album, 95. Alice in Chains was big. Oh my gosh, that was a great year for music. 1995. All right, and I already forgot the other number, so let me look back here real quick. 1979.10. All right. I appreciate you guys for sticking around with me, and sorry this is a little bit late, but I'm sure there'll still be a few of you guys on the line. I'd like to talk and see what everyone's opinion was, so leave me some questions in the live chat. All right, those boxes are off center, but I will fix that later. All right, so that's our target for tomorrow, and I'll fix this. I'm going to fix all this stuff the way it looks later. I just want to let you guys get back to your family. All right, so, or your friends or whatever you're doing. Let's look over here at QQQY. All right, so these guys sold 164 options at the 16,680 level, and they got 61 bucks for them. Actually, we'll call it 62. So that's the break even. So that's where the profit box is. Let's look back to today's performance. Boy, today was a big winner. All right. Yeah, today was a big winner. They captured 43 basis points. The day before that, they captured 35. You know, another day or two like this, and they'll be back out of the hole. They're down 28 cents right now. I'm calculating the EPS two different ways to see which one's more accurate. So, pardon my, I think the one on the right's actually more accurate. But I'm doing it both ways and running an experiment. But anyway, if the dividend were paid today, they wouldn't have any money to pay it basically because we're underwater. But it's just a week, or it's actually more than a week. 27, 28. Or 27, 28, 29. 1, 2, or 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9. It's actually 9 days. So it's actually about half a month. So we'll see. We still have about 11 more business days to go. We shall see. Okay, let's draw this profit box, 16,680 to 16,618. All right. Now this was a face ripper. Holy cow, look at that. It's like 2.5%. But yeah, days like this will definitely cause drag. They will definitely cause drag. But days like last week, you'll get positive tracking error. The good kind. You'll overperform the market. Everything's a trade-off in investing. What in the heck was that about? What in the heck was that about? Gosh darn it. You've got to be kidding me. My apologies. I guess I'm just not coordinated enough to do this. You've got to draw the line, and then you have to hit shift at the same time, but then you have to let off shift and then drag it. Oh, gosh darn it. I have to let off shift. At the same time, I pull it down here. Okay. All right, and let's see. The other number was 16,618, so that's right there. All righty. All right, so that's the NDX profit box, or the QQQY profit box. All right, so one to go. Let's look over here at JEPY, JEPI, or I'm sorry, JEPY, Freudian slip. I like JEPY as well, JEPI. It's a great fund. I bet you JEPI was up more today than JEPY. And I bet you both of them were not up as much as the SPX, which is their underlines. It's just a difference in structure. On a down day, JEPY does better. On an up day, the down day, JEPY does better. On an up day, JEPI will do better. And on a big up day, SPX, the underline, will do better than all of them because they don't cap any of their upside. All right, so these guys sold 221 puts at the 4770 level in the SPX index. They got $14 a piece for it. So you subtract 14 from 4770 and you get 4755, basically 4756. All right, so let's draw this really quick. Boy, look at that. That's a face ripper. Holy, they made up all of the freaking, just about all of the drop from the, the past 6 or 7 days. I mean, that's amazing. Boy, that's a face ripper. All right, I'm so excited, I forgot my numbers. 770 and 55, all right. I did it right that time. My coordination's getting a little better. And then I have to go down here to 55. It was actually about 50. Oh gosh, I spoke too soon. It was actually 55.88. There we go. That's close. Ah, shoot. All right. All right, guys. I tried to make that as quick and painless as possible. I tried not to filibuster on too many points. I'm going to post this and I'm going to take your questions live. So I'm looking forward to seeing what everyone has to say. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful evening.